Take a deep breath. Right now, you're inhaling air that is 21% oxygen, perfect for life. But what if tomorrow you woke up and it was 42%? Double the amount. Sounds cool, right? More energy, easier breathing, athletes breaking records. But in reality, the planet would turn into hell in a matter of hours. This is not science fiction. 300 million years ago, in the Carboniferous period, oxygen levels were at 35%, and the world was a completely different place. Now, you are about to find out why. The first thing that happens is you feel an incredible surge of power. Your body gets double the oxygen with every breath. Muscles work harder. The brain is sharper. You feel like a superhuman. People go out into the streets, rejoicing, taking selfies. "A miracle of nature!" scream the news headlines. 3 hours later, the first fires begin. Fire loves oxygen. The more oxygen there is, the faster and hotter it burns. At 42%, everything becomes fuel. Dry leaves ignite instantly from a cigarette spark. A wooden table catches fire from a hot mug of coffee. Even wet wood burns like paper. Forest fires start simultaneously on every continent. The Amazon, the Siberian taiga, the forests of Canada, the Australian bush. They don't just burn, they explode. The fire moves at 100 kilometers per hour. Impossible to outrun, impossible to extinguish. Water evaporates before it even touches the flames. Cities are next. Asphalt doesn't burn? With this amount of oxygen, it burns. Concrete cracks from the heat. Metal structures melt. Glass turns into lava. One small fire in a building, and the entire block is engulfed in flames within minutes. Firefighters are powerless. Their hoses, their foam, everything is useless against a flame that feeds on the air itself. One day later, half of the planet's forests are burning. Smoke covers the sun, but it doesn't save us from the heat. Burning biomass releases so much energy that the global temperature rises by 10 degrees, and the oxygen levels rise even higher as burning trees release their stored cellulose reserves. But fire is not even the worst part. Remember that surge of power? 12 hours later, it turns into a nightmare. Oxygen toxicity. Your lungs are not adapted to this concentration. Oxygen-free radicals begin to destroy your cells. First, a burning sensation in the chest. Then convulsions. Then organ failure. People start suffocating from too much air. It is like drowning on land. Doctors try to help, but how? Oxygen masks are useless. The problem is not a lack, but an excess. We need nitrogen masks, which don't exist. Millions die from hyperoxia in the first 24 hours. And then, nature reveals its true face. Insects. With high oxygen levels, they are no longer limited by size. In the Carboniferous period, dragonflies were the size of eagles. Spiders were the size of dogs. Centipedes were 2 meters long. And now, it is happening again. 1 week later, cockroaches the size of cats crawl through the ruins of cities. Mosquitoes the size of pigeons swarm in clouds. Their bites are deadly. They drain a liter of blood at a time. Ants the size of rats attack in packs, stripping flesh from bone in minutes. Spiders weave webs between buildings strong enough to catch a human. Humanity is no longer at the top of the food chain. We are prey. Survivors hide in airtight shelters with artificial atmospheres. but there are few of them. Most shelters burned down in the first days. There is almost no food. All agriculture has been destroyed by fire or insects. Water is poisoned by ash. 1 month later, the planet is unrecognizable. 90% of forests are burned to the ground. Cities are charred skeletons. The sky is gray with smoke and ash. Temperatures are 15 degrees above normal, and it is still burning. Underground coal seams have ignited. They will burn for years, pumping out even more CO2 and oxygen. But the scariest part is that oxygen levels keep rising. You see, algae in the ocean are still alive, and they produce oxygen. A lot of oxygen. Concentration reaches 50%, then 60%. The atmosphere becomes an explosive mixture. One lightning strike, and entire regions turn into fireballs. Thunderstorms no longer bring rain. They bring firestorms that incinerate everything within a radius of hundreds of kilometers in seconds. The atmosphere burns by itself. 1 year later, Earth looks like Venus. Surface temperature is 200 degrees Celsius. The oceans are evaporating. Atmospheric pressure doubles from water vapor. Greenhouse effect on steroids. Everything that could burn has burned. Only stone and ash remain. Life? It is almost gone. A few bacteria deep underground. Maybe some extremophiles in the depths of the ocean. Humans? No. We vanished in the first month. And it all started with one simple thing. The amount of oxygen doubled. Just one variable. But that was enough to turn the cradle of life into a dead planet. That is why 21% is not an accident. It is the perfect balance. Enough to breathe, but not enough for catastrophe. Billions of years of evolution led to this number. Plants produce oxygen, animals consume it, fires regulate forests. Everything is in equilibrium. Break the balance, and the planet will kill you. And it will do it with the very thing that gives life: air. The next time you take a breath, think about that. 21% oxygen. No more, no less. The perfect atmosphere. And we must protect it. Because if that number changes, we will find out what real hell looks like.